Chris. Thank you to the Toronto Standard team for inviting me, and I hope you're all enjoying yourselves. I'm just realizing I probably should have put my company information also on the last slide too, but there you have my website and my Instagram handle. Multiplex complex. So I grew up in a small beach town set within a rainforest in New Zealand. The coastline of this beach town is very rugged and dramatic. You have black sand, big waves, and strong ocean currents. And nature always dominated here. To build and raise a family here, you had to be resourceful. Many of the roads were unpaved, and there is still no city water supply. Most people bought land and built their own homes. I grew up on construction sites where it was normal to keep building materials on hand and have a workshop at home. Since 2005, I've been traveling to Brazil, and studying at the University of Sao Paulo has been one of the defining parts of my experience. Sao Paulo is an intensely urban city. The city completely dominates the landscape. Today, the greater metropolitan area is home to 23 million people. Between 1920 and 1960, the city's population doubled every decade. The city has a distinct architectural language. One of the architects who shaped that language was Villanova Artigas, who also designed the Faculty of Architecture building. His concept for the building was the spatialization of democracy, a temple without front doors. The school was designed to teach students how to live and work in the complexity of the city. I think of Toronto as a bit rough around the edges, kind of like the ultimate fixer-upper. Development here has been fragmented, with some of the most strategically located land still underdeveloped. The city is also a little bit like a typical house, expanded as needs arose, but without a coherent long-term vision. So how do we start working toward a coherent long-term vision that serves multiple generations? We're working in a macro framework of the financial, the city plan, the building code, and housing demand. Each one of these items are massive topics to be unpacked, which is why we have presenters talking about specific parts. My experience building and designing here in Toronto, one of the key things that I deal with, or maybe the most critical thing that I deal with, is finding the right people for my projects. Finding talent is so critical, and often the best people are very difficult to find. They don't have a strong online presence. They don't have sometimes even any social media. And they're selective with the projects they choose. They like to choose projects that align with their values. So talent is a finite resource, and it's maybe one of the most important resources in this process. This is also true for suppliers. Finding suppliers that can give you good materials at good prices is very difficult, and often those suppliers don't have a strong online presence. So you have to hunt them out. The design process. Because the design is essentially the brand of the building, it's important to give the design the time it needs to develop. The nature of Toronto lots being long and narrow means we end up with compact footprints and unusual proportions. These spaces often need customization to be optimized. Design is solving a spatial puzzle where every centimeter counts. During the development of a project, information will steadily and consistently build. It is critical to know what level of information is needed at each stage, and who is responsible for that information, and how will it be reviewed and organized. Working on larger scale projects, I learned that you want to bring on the consultants and bring on as much of the technical information as soon as possible. High quality design doesn't require expensive, rare materials, but I need to know the parameters that I'm working with to make it work and to keep it on budget. It's important to set realistic expectations of timeline and add contingency. Plan to do every step, There are no shortcuts. Jumping back and forth or trying to jump forward without the necessary information can not only negatively affect the timeline, but it can also burn out your team. Because time is money, everybody wants to move fast. The key to speed is sequencing. Contingency is most commonly referred to in pricing and budgeting as a set percentage used as a buffer. I also use contingency everywhere I can during the design process. This means from the beginning, drawing thicker walls, thicker floors, thicker roof assemblies, creating contingency around equipment, creating contingency in transitional spaces. Contingency can protect the design from collapsing under the weight of new information. During COVID-19, I was determined to control the pricing on my projects. Managing the construction was the best way to ensure the highest quality for the best price. Getting in the mud and getting hands-on experience gave me the information that I need to not only meet the requirements of that project, but how to inform future designs to streamline things and to basically do more with less. The planning and specification process in a project from the beginning of design to construction is so long and so many things can radically change that by the time you're ready to order materials or order equipment, often a lot has changed and maybe it's not available and you have to pivot. This is why you need contingency. This is why you need to know your options. This is why you need to know options that are within your budget that you can pivot to. And this technical information and the specifications is not the sexiest part of the project, but it is so essential, especially during the construction phase. And often, I will sit down at the end of the evening and read through the technical documents. And sometimes I call the suppliers and call the company to ask them about information in these technical data sheets. And they're always completely shocked because nobody calls. It's so rare that people read these documents and call them to make sure that they clearly understand everything that's involved in each material and each process that you need to do. So again, your contingency is so important. Anticipate failure points and fix them before they cause a problem. To meet code and stay on budget, produce high quality products is much harder due to the constraints of your costs. So you have to really be on top of the technical information. In 2006, I worked for an Irish stonemason covered in Celtic tattoos. He was a giant of a man, and every time he had beers after work, he would swallow the first beer in one gulp. He was trained by Italians that drank small cups of red wine all day, every day, as they worked. This experience of working with the stonemason and being hands-on with the stone has really stayed with me my whole life and inspired me to the point that, for me, a great vacation is going somewhere where I have access to stone, I have a tent, I'm covered in dust, I'm working with power tools with stone, and that's how I like to spend free time when I can allocate the time for that, which is hard. Last year I went to Carrara for the first time, and Carrara is steeped in the lore of Michelangelo going there to source marble for his projects. And what a lot of people don't realize is that he tried to just purchase and order the marble from Carrara. He didn't want to go there and figure everything out, but he couldn't get it. He kept getting fleeced, he kept getting overcharged, the quality of the material was not good enough, so he had to go there, he had to get in the mud, he had to figure it out for himself, literally learn how to quarry the stone, how to get it back to produce, some of the greatest artworks that we know. So it was a grueling, hands-on logistical nightmare. And you know, even if it's, I like to, my focus is design, but even if construction is not my long-term priority goal, I want to understand these processes. I want to understand the people that do the work so that we can work together and collaborate effectively. So I'm always trying to keep a beginner's mind, trying to stay curious and learn more, to find new ways to optimize. Question my assumptions and simplify things down to the fundamentals. We have so many experts. Humility is so important when it comes to the collaboration stage. Engineering and art are not separable. I try to work with the components that I have and make these technical necessities design components. This is the clearest path in my mind to optimizing the design within budget. And the reason this is so important is because, again, the design of your building is your brand, and the quality of the design is really what holds the yield that you're going to get on your rents. You know, if you can set yourselves above the rest through, with the same budget, not only can you charge higher rents, but also you can maintain your rent yield during tough times when other people are struggling to command those rents. And during this process, finding the talent, working with people, trust is so important. It's the most valuable commodity, really, and you can't demand it from people. You need to build that together, and that's how you can get the right people and get the right outcome that you need. I've gone a little bit over time, so I'll just leave you with that last thought, because when you're designing and building these projects, you have to be so in the now because there is so much information, there is so much work to be done. It's hard to see the larger picture. This next generation or current generation of development at multiplexes, the quality of it is going to determine whether it's a stepping stone or whether it's a cornerstone of the future of our development. So, thank you.